So it's Thanksgiving, a time for catching up with family, even creepy Uncle Teddy who you're 50% sure is a wrong'un, watching lots of sport, and of course gorging yourself daft on massive piles of delicious turkey. Now obviously, as a filthy stinking British person, this holiday isn't exactly for people like me, but there's never a bad excuse to put all the bad aside for a single day and consider how thankful we are for all the good things in our lives. This is particularly true in wrestling, where if you get caught up in all this silly bollocks doing the rounds, you will do yourself an absolute mental. So let's take one moment to celebrate all the wonderful men and women who keep us glued to this silly little sport. Now before we begin, an honourable mention has to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Togi Makabe. This guy has kept the WhatCulture office laughing all year long, and it's all thanks to a promo he cut a few years ago that's frankly the greatest thing any of us have ever seen. If you want to see it, and trust me you do, go ahead and check out #PoppingTheBoys on Twitter. It's incredible. Anywho, let's get on with it. I'm Andy for WhatCulture Wrestling, and here are the 10 wrestlers we are most thankful for in 2018. Number 10, The Fabulous Truth. Now, if you were to tell me a few short months ago that I would be standing here and praising R-Truth and bloody Carmella, I'd have called you an absolute rectangle, but here we are. The Fabulous Truth are just a boatload of fun and a welcome break for all the super serious stuff that goes down on SmackDown on a weekly basis. Now, I'm obviously not going to pause for a dance break because I, dear viewers, have all the rhythm of an arthritic slug, but their brand of comedy is most welcome because Truth is genuinely funny and Carmella is a lot more palatable as a babyface than she was as a heel. Now yes, their act is kind of dumb, but isn't wrestling supposed to be just a little bit silly? And sometimes you just need to lighten up and have a laugh. That's exactly what the Fabulous Truth do, and that's why they're on the list. Number 9, Pac. That's right, comment section, get your best Bald Neville jokes at the ready. It has been a while after all, because I'm about to spend a little bit of time talking about me with hair, aka Pac, who's been doing all kinds of big things since returning to Dragon Gate back in October. Re-emerging for his old home promotion inside Kurikan Hall, which is one of the most storied wrestling venues in all of Japan, Pac immediately joined RED, the promotion's top heel stable, and he's been making all kinds of moves. He's already back in the upper echelon, and he's set to face Masato Yoshino for Dragon Gate's top prize, the Open the Dream Gate Championship, on December 4th. That, my friends, is going to be a banger. Honestly, after sitting aside in WWE for the best part of a year, it's just great having the former Neville back. It looks like he'll be with DG for the foreseeable future, and he's already got a bunch of UK dates on the horizon. Expect him to keep killing it as we head into 2019, which, if all goes well, could very well be his year on the indies, particularly if he ends up going to New Japan. Number 8, Tomohiro Ishii. One of the best things about pro wrestling in 2018 is that each of its diverse companies and styles have never been so accessible, thanks largely to video on demand. There's all kinds of cutting edge stuff going on and it's all at your fingertips, but sometimes you just need to take a step back and appreciate a mad hard bastard throwing his big thick head at other people's big thick heads, and when it comes to that, there's nobody better than Ishii. This guy is, and I say this without a word of hyperbole, one of the absolute best in the world on his day. He takes one hell of a beating and he is a truly world-class seller. Nobody draws you into the struggle and trauma of the match just like Ishii, and when he holds onto a limb, you don't just think he's hurting, you feel every drop of that pain. Now, Large Tommy is already 42 years old, and given how hard-hitting and impactful his matches are, he's not going to be able to do this forever. Appreciate this little bowling ball of a man while he's still able to deliver on this level. His big match record really speaks for itself, and at the moment, he's a low-key candidate for Wrestler of the Year. Forget your Kenny Omegas, Tomohiro Ishii is the man. Number 7, Pete Dunne. The longest reigning champion of WWE's modern era, and I'm not sure there's a better WWE wrestler with a stronger hit ratio than Pete Dunne. I mean, seriously, just take a look at his recent back catalogue and try to find me a bad match. You'll be there all day because frankly, there just isn't one. Now, whether he's competing on the UK indie circuit, on NXT's mainline product, or on NXT's UK, Dunne comes off like a major star. He's a great wrestler who knows how to carry himself like the biggest star in the room, and it's this quality that likely attracted WWE and Triple H to him in the first place, ensuring he'll become a major main roster star when the time comes. Number 6, Zack Sabre Jr. Speaking of wrestlers with absurdly high hit ratios, Zack Sabre Jr. farts out 4-star matches like nobody else in the business. And it doesn't matter if he's facing Hiroshi Tanahashi in a big New Japan match or kicking the snot out of some Spanish kid decked out in his 5-a-side kit. Seriously, go to YouTube and find his April match for White Wolf Wrestling with a kid. It is incredible and it'll blow your wig off. Sabre is a technical wizard, a guy who knows counters to counters to counters, and works with such effortless fluidity that it almost feels like he was born this good. He is conclusive proof that you don't need to fly around like a madman and take crazy neck bumps in order to put on a great match in 2018, and the best part is that his style is so safe and undestructive that he could conceivably be doing this for decades. Number 5, Daniel Bryan. The wee man is back and it is awesome. At the start of the year, it didn't even look like Daniel Bryan would wrestle again, but look at where we are now. He's the WWE Champion, he's a heel, but perhaps most importantly of all, he's a full-time roster member and he's happy and healthy. His comeback was extremely emotional, and it's both comforting and a relief just having this guy back on our screens having good to great matches every single week. Bryan remains one of the most powerful and effective characters in the entire world of wrestling. He's a beacon of light when everything else feels shit. And you know WWE just aren't done with his feud with The Miz just yet. They'll eventually have that big final showdown, and when they do, it's gonna be epic. Number 4, Ronda Rousey. Now, a lot of doubts were cast when Ronda Rousey first walked through the door of WWE. If we're being kind, those first few appearances, including her Royal Rumble debut, were, well, far from convincing, but she's since blown all those expectations away, and now she might be the most exciting rookie this company has had since Kurt Bloody Angle. It began with WrestleMania 34, which is frankly still the best debut match I have ever seen, but Ronda has been continually excellent ever since then, whether it's indulging in awesome segments with Becky Lynch or somehow dragging Nia Jax of all bloody people to an awesome match on pay-per-view. But what we're most thankful for when it comes to Ronda is her star power. Make no mistake, she's a mainstream celebrity and she attracts major attention to WWE. This ensures that the women's revolution is going to stay consistent for as long as she's here. She'll be in a big spotlight, raising the bar, and she's a credit to everything that goes on around her. Number 3, Chris Jericho. No wrestler is currently doing more to showcase the power of betting on yourself in professional wrestling than Chris Jericho is in 2018, who continues to generate tremendous buzz as a freelancer, having once again reinvented himself for a new generation of wrestling fans. Tubby, drunk, swearing Jericho is one of his best ever versions. He's an absolute blast, and that Tokyo Dome showdown with Tetsuya Naito is just around the corner, and you know, just like their previous war, it's gonna be heated. Now, the coolest thing about Jericho at the moment is that he could conceivably show up anywhere. The Mad Lad did just hold his own cruise after all. He's been talking about Impact, he was at All In, and he's been in New Japan for a while. It's been a long time since he's felt this fresh and exciting, and having established that he really doesn't need WWE anymore, Jericho is hopefully setting an awesome example for which others can follow. Number 2, Drew McIntyre. I think we can all agree that the Roman Reigns situation is absolutely horrendous. It's ghastly, it's tragic, and of course we all wish him the best for a speedy recovery and hope to see him back on our TV screens before long. But from WWE's standpoint, it does leave them with a huge creative dilemma, that being the question of who becomes the guy. Now, a lot of people might have Seth Rollins in this spot, and understandably so. He has been great in 2018. But if there's a stronger candidate for the job, it's Big Drew, whom WWE have been quietly building up as a major deal from the moment he was first called up to the main roster as Dolph Ziggler's Diesel-esque sidekick. Now, perhaps this is a spot of national bias from myself, shoutouts to the great nation of Scotland, but Drew is the total package. He's a big sexy beast, he can talk, he can wrestle, and he projects himself like a major superstar already. Vince McMahon almost certainly loves him, and his time will surely come. Number 1, Becky Lynch. Call her the last kicker, the champ, the man, whatever the hell you want. Becky Lynch has become the vanguard for WWE's Woman Revolution, and not only that, she might be the most vital performer in wrestling today, so let's just hope her absence isn't a long one. Everything she does is bloody brilliant, whether that's wrestling in-ring classics with Charlotte Flair, leading Team SmackDown's invasion of Raw before Survivor Series, or simply swaggering to the ring. Becky is money, she's great, she's the best performer in the entire company today, and the heel turn was an absolute masterstroke. It doesn't even matter that she's coming off more like an anti-hero and that the crowds are cheating their hearts out for her. Her performances are so strong that they transcend absolutely everything else, and long may it continue well after she returns. No wrestler has done more to grab the brass ring in 2018, and in raising her own personal standards, Becky is lifting up every single person around her. Cases like Becky's just really show just how much talent WWE really do have on their hands. They were doing absolutely nothing with her a few short months ago, and now she's the hottest property they've got. It's almost like they should do things like this more often. Anyway guys, that's our list, but which wrestlers are you most thankful for in 2018? Let us know down in the comments section below, and of course, happy Thanksgiving. I've been Andy, and I'll see you later.